Okay, so we will start. So in our last class, we had studied what is function, what is a function call, what is function definition. When a function is calling, then function definition is executing, and what is recursion. So these are the points that we have completed. Then we will go to the next point. The next point is one of the important point, that is Python lambda function. Python lambda function, or this is also called as anonymous function. Anonymous. This is also called as anonymous function. So the function without name, that is called as anonymous. You remember? So the function without name, we will define a function, but the function name we will not specify. And in general, we have studied a function definition is preceded by the keyword def, but anonymous function definition preceded by the keyword lambda. So that's why it is called as lambda function. Okay, so the function, if I will write the definition, the function without name, the function without name is called as, or is known as, anonymous function. Anonymous, anonymous function. Okay, so this anonymous function is called as lambda function. We know the function definition, we know the function definition in general is preceded by the keyword def. So anonymous function definition is preceded by the keyword lambda. So that's why anonymous function anonymous function is known as, called as, lambda function. So lambda is a keyword. We will so take an example for better clarity. So before that, first of all, we will see what is the syntax of lambda function. So there is a general form that we have to know. Okay, so overall, that you remember, lambda is a keyword. So where the lambda keyword we use when we represent, when we define the anonymous function. So anonymous function definition preceded by the keyword lambda. So basically that is called as lambda function. The general form is, so there is a syntax. So the general form is, so what is the lambda function syntax? So based on the syntax that we will take the example. So what is the general form? Lambda. Lambda is a keyword, then argument, okay, then argument, then colon, then expression. Okay, so this is the syntax. This is the general form of a lambda function. So what is the syntax? Lambda, then argument, then colon, expression. So here in arguments, any value that we can pass to the lambda function, expression it will evaluate and it will return some outputs. Okay, so now we will take an example. So for better clarity, so expression must be 1. Okay, so we will take an example. So the entire description also that I have written in python-tpunch.com, you also go through that site also, then you can get all the details. Suppose we will take an example. We will take an example. Simply, suppose an example, let lambda, then colon as per the syntax. Lambda, then colon. Suppose one output statement I will write. Okay. So within print function, suppose I will write, let it Ceylon software. Okay. So here we have defined a lambda function and assigned to the variable, let it suppose. So always in programming, right is always assigned to left. Let it suppose I will define or I will take an output variable. Let the output variable name is so. Okay. So what I did, so lambda, that is the keyword, then colon within print function that I wrote Ceylon software. So how this lambda function it will execute? So we have to call. So we know that without a function call, function definition cannot execute. So it is returning an output variable, but that output variable actually or internally it will act as a function object, that we can say. Why I told that it is a function object? Because the concept is saying anyhow we have to call a function. So I will call. So which name I wrote so whatever this output variable that I have taken, so that output variable parenthesis, so now that I presented so as a function call, so when it will call, then it will execute. So what is the expression is nothing but an output statement, that is Ceylon software. Okay, so it is called as what? This call lambda function, and this is this line it is representing what? This line representing declare a lambda function, declare a lambda function, and this line representing what? This line representing what? We call lambda function. Okay, now I will hit run. Now I will hit run. So now it is executing. Okay, so what we got? So we got output. So in generally, suppose in generally, if I will define this, so in which way I will define def so function? In this way, print let Ceylon software, in this way, then I will call the function in this way. Now I will hit run. This is general function definition, and this is lambda function definition in this way. Okay, so you go through python-tpoints.com that I have written very well. You go to Python. Okay, so you go to already I have written you go to lambda function. You see, I have written in very well. Okay. So here, one point you remember, lambda functions can have any number of arguments, but only one expression. Lambda function can have any number of arguments. Already, we have written here what the general form is lambda, then arguments, then colon, then expression. So you see, so arguments may be one or maybe more than one arguments that we can take, but expression is only one. So here you see, so lambda, then arguments. Okay, so I can write also here. Suppose I will go to next example. Suppose lambda, let any number, okay, lambda, then arguments, colon, expression. Let expression is number into 10. Then output variable that I will take, suppose result. Okay. So this is a lambda expression. So this lambda function, when it will execute, when we have to call the function. So which thing that we are calling, whatever the output variable, whatever we are taking, so that output variable we are presenting as a function call. So that's why I was saying, so lambda expression returning whatever the output variable, so that is nothing but a function object. So when I will call this function, so result, then this, okay. So if I will take, suppose let it 5, okay, then when this line will execute, so this 5 is the value of number. Now I will hit run and I will get the output is 50. Okay. So I hope you got clarity. So this is called as a lambda function. It is a very small terminology. Okay, then we will go to the next example and you see we have written. So there are two function. One is filter function and one is map function. Okay, so directly I can just I will copy and I will paste here. You see, there is a list. Let my list name is list 1. So we have a list and the list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we have to, what first of all, we will know what is the my problem statement. So one filter function that I have to call, and what is the purpose of filter function? The filter function purpose is, suppose program to filter out only the odd items or even items. Okay, if number modulo 2 double equals to 0, this is the expression. So if number modulo 2 double equals to 0, that is even, and if number modulo 2 is not equals to 0, that is odd. So this is given list 1. We have a list, name of the list is list 1, that is given. And this is suppose another list. Let it, my output list is suppose list 2. So whatever the odd data items 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9. So whatever the odd data item, so it will display, let it output will be list. So if output that I want to see as a list, so we have to call a list function. Within a list function, and you see, so there is a built-in function, filter function, that I called. Then within filter function, then lambda expression we will write. So lambda, then this, suppose this is lambda, then argument as per the syntax, as per the general form of lambda expression. Lambda, then argument, then colon, then this is expression. Expression is my business logic. P modulo 2 is not equals to 0. So by taking list 1 value and print, so output is list 2. So by taking list one value, 1 modulo 2 is not equals to 0. If it is true, then 1 will assign into list 2. Then 2 modulo 2 is not equals to 0. It is false. If it is false, then 2 is not assigning in list 2. 3 is modulo 2 is not equals to 0. It is true. Then the data item 3 will come to list 2. In this way, it will check. Then when I will run this code, so I will get all odd data items 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. If I will write double equals to 0, then all even number. So if I will write double equals to 0, so all even numbers that I can get. Okay, so this is the purpose of filter function. Filter is a built-in function. Filter function is a built-in function. So what I have done within filter function, I have written a lambda expression. I have written a lambda expression. So that lambda expression is executing, and whatever by taking list one value and whatever the output value is generating, so that output value is assigning into list 2. So list 2 is the output list and this is my input list. So this is the purpose of filter function I have written in the my python-tpoints.com site. Then similarly, there is another function, map function. So map function, that's example that I copied. So I will paste here. So same concept. So what is the purpose of map function? Same way. So let we have a list. Name of the list is numbers. Let list values 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever you take, that depend upon you. You can take your one number. There is no problem. So output list is new underscore numbers. Output list. Same way, if I want to see the output value, whatever the data items that we will see in the form of output, I want to make in a list as a list. So if output, if I want to make as a list, so we have to call list function. Within a list function, so same way in place of a filter, I will write map function. Within map function, I will write the lambda expression. Previously we saw within filter function we have written lambda expression. Here within a map function we wrote lambda expression, and you see lambda is the keyword lambda, then arguments, then expression. Okay, by taking the value of numbers. So into 3, that means 1 into 3, 2 into 3, 3 into 3, 4 into 3. 1 into 3, 3, 2 into 3, 6, 3 into 3, 9, 4 into 3, 12. So this will be the output. If I will hit run, so it will be the output 3, 6, 9, 12, but 3, 6, 9, 12 displayed in the form of a list. So this is all about lambda expression. It is a small terminology. Okay. So lambda means the function without name. When we are defining a lambda function, you see there is no parenthesis, there is no function name. The function without name, that is called as anonymous function. And when we represent anonymous function, so that will be preceded by the keyword lambda. So since anonymous function we are preceding by the keyword lambda, so that's why that anonymous function is called as lambda function. So this is the concept of a lambda function.